So, sitting around last night, and I hear Kyle Tucker signs with the Los Angeles Dodgers. And my first thought was, I really can't say anything as a Yankee fan since birth. You know, Cooper texted me, couldn't believe it. He's pissed, as the rest of the free baseball world is, that the team that, is already top of the food chain with all of their stars, half of them deferring their salary like they got a deferred comp policy there in Los Angeles, which allows them to go ahead and give Kyle Tucker 4 years, $240 million. By the way, he's deferring $30 million of it. And kind of want to say to him, listen, I can't complain because back in the day, Steinbrenner had more money than most, and the Yankees built quite a team. That's why I'm a Yankee fan, because they started winning when I was 6, 7 years old, an impressionable young man in Staten Island, New York. So can't really say very much, but that would make for any good TV or radio. So screw it. I think this stinks. I think it absolutely stinks. The only thing that actually gave me pleasure was Steve Cohen was tweeting out, hey, white smoke's going to come out of Queens, and got egg on his face until he signs Bo Bichette this morning.
No egg.
Yeah. Which is, good for you. That'll be great.
Why do you say it like that?
It's good for you. It's great.
Am I wrong on it? He's like,
no. Soto's got a running mate now, along with Lindor, and it's heck of a signing. He's pretty damn good.
I don't know, man. It's just your tone right now tells me you're not happy for me.
But at some point, Spot Track. I think it's not Spotrack, right? It's Spot Track. Spot Track.
It's like GIF and GIF.
The Dodgers have committed on their books
a lot
of guaranteed money to baseball players, including all the deferred stuff.
Oh, yeah.
$2.1 billion.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Is that even legal?
It is.
It's a lot, bro.
It is. And so, what are you going to do? Now, the only thing that I could sit here and say is that even with all of that for the Dodgers last year, they needed everything to go their way.
Yeah.
In order to stave off the Toronto Blue Jays, who, by the way, are third on the list of most committed guaranteed dollars.
Yeah, they're spending.
You know who's two? Padres. Mm. Padres are two. So it's not like the usual have-nots, unable to keep up with the haves. I don't know. But it's, once again, the Dodgers world. We're all paying rent. I don't even know. Where does Tucker hit? 4th, 5th, 6th? Is that where he goes? You know what I mean? That's how it's going to happen.
Was he even good? He wasn't even that good, though, the second half of last year.
They're paying him $60 million.
That is insane.
A year. Which makes the Soto deal look like a mere bag of shells. Looks like it's cheap.
Yeah, I would have signed that deal too if I was him.
I'm glad we
got Kyle
Bichette.
Tucker?
Yeah.
He also gets to opt out year 2 and year 3.
Yeah.
Also. So the Dodgers are like, we'll give you opt-outs. We'll pay you $60 million a year. We'll give you signing bonus of $64 million. You want to defer $30 million so you got a nice little 401k plan for yourself? Great. Why wouldn't you sign that sort of thing? To be with the back-to-back champion Dodgers with an outstanding manager who's not, going to treat you anything but like a person and an adult?
And get to play with quite possibly the greatest player of all time?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I keep mentioning it. Last year, Ohtani on first. It was Ohtani on second. Betts on first. Freeman hits one in the gap, and they're all running. They have as a shot from behind home plate, watching the base paths move of Ohtani come around, Betts first to third, and Freeman go to second. And all sat there and think, like, is that $1 billion on the base paths?
Easily.
What? I think it was.
And so, again, baseball fans, it'll be, for you to vote with your remotes or your feet or whatever, or you're going to sit there and root against your Dodgers. I don't know. But it's honestly, it was the Yankees in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. And now it's the Dodgers of the now, where they have more money than they know what to do with. They're willing to spend it. And they're also able to spend more money than they know what to do with, because a bunch of players are like, we'll take it 10 years from now. We don't care. So you're down underneath the luxury tax. You can use it to your advantage. And I just hope Bo Bichette's healthy for you. That's all. Because last year, he could rake, and then he was limping around the bases. I imagine he'll be just fine.
You kind of got to wonder, man, when he hit that 3-run homer off Ohtani, like, had they won, what his present would look like. You know, he wouldn't be a Met.
He's awesome. I don't know. Maybe he would be. I don't know. The Blue Jays are still spending like crazy. And at some point, Brian Cashman's alarm will go off. Same thing with your Red Sox over there. But you did sign Rangers.
Yeah, we did get Rangers Suarez, which was great.
So you got two nice lefties coming out to start. Baseball hot stove heating up.
Just if you were sleeping, the Dodgers went out and signed the biggest free agent on the market, Kyle Tucker. And joining us right now, ESPN baseball writer Alden Gonzalez, baseball reporter. Alden, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Excellent. So yesterday I was on the air, and in a prophetic way, I said, I don't believe the Dodgers are in on Kyle Tucker. And then the next thing you know, they signed him. Did you think they were in on him?
Oh, yeah, they were in on him. I didn't think they were going to sign him. And I think it's very telling to me of where the Dodgers are right now. They were pretty adamant going into the offseason that they were not going to do long-term deals. And because they weren't going to do long-term deals, it seemed pretty unlikely that they were going to land a 28-year-old outfielder who was clearly the best player available. But they did. And it's the thing about the Dodgers right now. They are the destination spot, and they have more money than everybody else, and they win more than everybody else. And at the end of the day, that's where guys want to go. So even if you're Kyle Tucker and you were projected to get an 11-year deal for $420 million, which is what we projected, you're going to take the short-term deal and sign with the Dodgers because you want to be a Dodger. And I understand why every fan base is incredibly upset by this turn of events, but that's just indicative to me of where the Dodgers have positioned themselves in the sport.
Well, it also feels, too, Alden, like Kyle Tucker can have his cake and eat it, too, because he's got these outs in Season 2 and Season 3. So in theory, he can play extremely well, maybe get a ring or two with the Dodgers, and then if he wants to opt out into a longer-term deal, one last big contract, he'll have that opportunity, and then the Dodgers can decide to do whatever they want, but then both sides ultimately end up winning.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right about that. It's an ideal fit from that perspective as well. And keep in mind, too, the free agent classes are not very good at all. Next offseason and also the offseason after that. Even worse than this year's, where there was not a clear Juan Soto type star. So with Kyle Tucker and also with Bo Bichette, who signed also a short-term deal with opt-outs, there's a very real benefit to going back into the market after a really good year. And that's another thing about Kyle Tucker, that for as talented and as well-rounded as he is when he is healthy, he, number one, hasn't been healthy lately. His platform year just now with the Cubs wasn't great. He had a really bad second half. And he's been a 4 to 5 win player, which is great, but he hasn't reached what people believe to be his ceiling. So to your point, he can ball out for a year or two, then go back into the market, and that's perfect for the Dodgers, who did not want to commit to him long term. But I think it also says something about the Dodgers in that they are a place where not only you can win, but they have proven that they can get the most out of you. They have the resources to take on reclamation projects, make them better, and have them sign elsewhere. There are a ton of examples in recent history of guys who have signed short-term deals with the Dodgers who go get money elsewhere, and I am certain that that is what Kyle Tucker's camp was thinking about when he chose them.
So I am guessing that 1 year from right now, we are going to be in a lockout in Major League Baseball.
No question.
And I wonder what's the impact of this signing of Kyle Tucker? I heard somebody say this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. I think the camel's back broke a while ago. But what's the impact of the Tucker signing on what we're going to see coming up after the 26th season?
Yeah, I don't think there's one straw that breaks the camel's back here. I think these are just things that stack up. And whether it's right or wrong, fair or unfair, there's a lot of anger among fans. There's a lot of anger among owners. And every time something like this happens, it makes it even more clear to me that Major League Baseball is going to go to the mat. for a salary cap. And because they're going to do that, we are going to experience a prolonged lockout. How long that lasts, what ultimately gets one side to break over the other, nobody has any idea. But the reality of the Dodgers, and this is not a fault of the Dodgers by any stretch, their owner, Mark Walter, is operating the way every owner should, which is by pumping money back onto the roster. But two things that the Dodgers have that other teams don't. One is they have this ironclad, super lucrative local media deal at a time when the RSN model is deteriorating and teams cannot count on that revenue anymore. All right? And number two, they have Shohei Ohtani. And they have done such a great job of leveraging who Shohei Ohtani is, an international superstar, the likes of which Major League Baseball never has. And he has become a cash cow for them. And they are taking, and so that's why money is no longer an object. They are going to pay, because they are exceeding the luxury tax threshold's highest threshold, and they pay a 110% tax on overages. They're going to pay Kyle Tucker close to $120 million in 2026. That is bigger than a lot of teams' payrolls. I don't know how many, but at least some of them. All right, and you could say something similarly about Edwin Diaz. They don't care. It doesn't matter, and there are no other teams that can operate like that right now, or at the very least are willing to.
Let me ask you this, though, Alden. When you mentioned before that you thought that the league would go to the mattresses to implement a salary cap, do you also expect a salary floor to come with that? Because otherwise, then these owners are telling on themselves that they just don't want to spend what they could, even if the Dodgers still have more money.
Yeah, there will be a floor, at least in the proposals. Again, I don't know that it's going to happen. But if you look at the last CBA negotiations, one of their first proposals was a salary floor. And I think that's the only way they can sell this to fans. It's the only way they even have a chance of selling this to players. Is that actually is their biggest pitch, is, look, we're going to have this salary floor, and because of it, Team X, Team Y, Team Z is going to have to spend a lot more money than they're spending today, and at the end of the day, it's going to lead to more revenue for players. Whether or not that's actually true, it's going to be for the union to decipher. But, yeah, they go hand in hand. But the union's not going to go for that. Last time the salary floor was proposed, they balked at it because to them it smelled of a salary cap, and that is a guiding principle of the MLB Players Association, is a hard no on a salary cap, because that's been basically their entire history.
Okay, last thing for you, and I want you to tell me if this thought is somewhere in Andrew Friedman, Mark Walter's head. The work stoppage is coming. Maybe we do wind up with a salary cap. And I agree with you. I think it's going to be just a holy war to try to get a salary cap in Major League Baseball. But let's say it does happen. They've gotten two guys in sort of under the wire who would be grandfathered into whatever this next system is post-lockout. Is that thought in their heads?
I think at the very least, the thought that is in their heads that is partly motivating what they're doing is that they have no idea what the economic landscape is going to look like after 2027. And especially not also after 2028, because I remind you that Major League Baseball is trying to centralize local media. And that's going to change the economics of baseball as well. I think generally speaking, you might be walking into a completely different economic situation moving forward, with or without a salary cap, definitely with even tighter restrictions. So I think that's part of it. I do think that the major motivation for them is what I said earlier. One is that they want to win a third straight championship and cement this as truly like one of the greatest dynasties in baseball history. And they're making a ton of money, and they might as well spend it. But I do think you're right in that they don't know after this year, all bets are off. Who knows what the sport is going to look like? Spend it now. I think that's definitely part of the calculation.
All right. Hey, Alden, great stuff. Follow you all the time on Twitter or X or whatever, and see you on TV. Thank you very much for making time. We appreciate it, man.
No problem, guys. Anytime.
There is Alden Gonzalez. Yeah, I think that is in their head. It's like, all right, let's get a couple more contracts.